أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The common masail of najasat and taharat seems to be also of utmost importance. In Sharia, there are two types of water. One is that which is in abundance, which is called Ab Kathir, means too much, abundant water. And there is one Ab Qalil, which is little water, not much. Now, the rainwater, the tap water, the water in a reservoir, the spring water, water in a lake, water from a well, all these are abundant water and they are called kor, which means kathir. But when you take a small jug or a mug and fill that with water, of course that is now qalil, little water. At home, when you want to make your utensils or whatever park, it's very easy because the tap is on and the water that comes out is Ab Kathir, that means abundant water. It is connected with a reservoir. It's coming from the main pipe or from the tank which connects your pipelines. And therefore, once the najasat has been removed with one wash, everything is parked. If there is a najasat on it, like say a spot of blood, drop of blood is there, just remove that. Once that spot has been removed, then the first wash will make it park. Your hand together. Your body is najis, you stand under the shower. The shower is abundant water. If najasat is not attached to your body anywhere, for the first wash that you have, your body is park. And therefore, in Sharia, there is no room for shakkiyat in taharat. Shaitan puts that disease in the minds of everyone. If this tip of the finger is najis, I come to a house means a pool of water which is really abundant water, and I put my finger there and I say, oh my God. Naturally, displacement will take place and the water level will rise. So now what happened? Now najasat has gone up, so I put second tip. And again, oh my God, displacement has taken place. Water goes up, so again I put. Gradually, for the sake of this much, I put the whole hand. This is called shakkiyat. The moment you dipped your finger, it is parked, that's all. If a person gets entangled in doubts, then gradually he becomes so frustrated that everything becomes parked for him. Because he then ignores, he says, this is too much. But actually it is very simple. I remember a friend who had a shop, and whenever he received coins, he used to put the whole coin in a tub and then take a pipe and wash it like this. So what are you doing? He said, I'm making the coins spark. Why? Because I don't know from where they have come. They have come from the hands of Muslims and non-Muslims also. I said, then one day you might put the notes also there and make the notes spark. That he would not do because he knows what will happen to the notes. It's park. But as far as Ab Qalil is concerned, that means little water which is in the container, there of course we have got to see that we, after having removed the najasat, you pour twice at least, once and twice. Especially I say this for those who use the toilet. When we go to the toilet for urine, all the ayatullah, all the mujtahideen are unanimous on this, that urine does not become pak with one wash. Does not become pak. When you go there, because you are using a small jug or a mug, it is ab qalil. Although it has come from the tap, but now it is in a container. So you will wash yourself once and twice. Third time is mustahab. But you will not become pak unless you have washed yourself 2 times. Now the meaning of 2 times is not that you have to go to fill the whole jug 2 times. That will raise the bill of the Jamaat. You have only got to pour twice. That means you pour once and then again you pour second time, you are pak. As far as urine is concerned, we cannot become pak unless we have poured ourselves water twice. Third time is mustahab. But as far as paykhana is concerned, there of course there is no question of how many times. There the question is when you get yourself cleaned, you are pak, whether it is with one wash or with as many as you need. To see that no remnants of najasat remain on you, then you are pak. It may be with one wash. This is very important, my friends, because this is tahar. And these questions do arise in the minds. People don't ask or they feel ashamed of asking, so I have clarified this. As far as Shariat laws are concerned, there has got to be nothing like being ashamed of asking. Ask. Inshallah ta'ala, it will help. Some of the ulama have written that there was one jahil who used to go and sit with the ulama. He was of course totally unlettered. One day as he sat with the ulama, he was a fisherman also. He heard about something like masculine, feminine, and also neuter gender. Neuter. As in Sharia they said, mudhakkar, muannath. Mudhakkar is male, muannath is female. And there is one which is called khunfa. Khunfa means it's neither male nor female. It just registered in his mind. One day, as he was fishing, the Nawab and his wife, they were strolling from the seashore. The Nawab told his wife that, want to make some practical joke with this fisherman. She said, yes, let us try. So the fisherman had caught a big fish. He said, look, he told his wife, I'll ask him, is this fish male or female? If he says male, I'll tell him, sorry, I wanted a female. And if he says female, I'll tell him, sorry, I want male. When the fisherman came and he asked him, what about this fish, is it male or female? He said, I think it is khunfa. When he said it is khunfa, not knowing what it meant, but he had heard from that alim, the Nawab was so happy and he had no answer to give. There was no alternative but to buy, because it was neither male nor female. He said, how did you know about khunfa? I said, I don't know anything. I went to that alim's mosque and he said something about khunfa. So it seems that this fish is khunfa. So sometimes this helps. To be with ulama helps. To learn something helps for practical purposes. Ask and inshallah you'll be told. Yesterday, since this decade, these 10 days that we are in now, as I said earlier, are the 10 days of Rahmah. And we are here to seek the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yesterday I spoke about the necessity of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. And I said clearly that there are things which I will speak about in these nights. Many have construed that I am going to throw down missiles from here. No, it's not that. It's not going to be anything personal. They have totally misunderstood me. What I am going to say and speak about is for us all, and is going to be the sum total of what I have seen after having lived with our people for so long. Remember, we have been the victims of several civilizations. When we were in East Africa, most of us, those who lived in Anglophone territories, they were under the influence of British civilization, that is Western, Arab civilization to an extent, African civilization, Indian culture and our civilization. Those who were in Francophone under French, those who were in Italy, colonized Italian, and so on. If you look at something as simple as your food, the type of diet that we have, you will find that we eat a mixture of Arab, African, Indian, and English food. So much so that sometimes if we invite someone who is not from East Africa to our household and we prepare a dish and give him, he asks, what dish is it? We both are Indians originally, but this is from East Africa, he hasn't seen it. Now he eats for the first time. He might like it, he might not like it. We are a mixture, we are what we call a hodgepodge of a civilization. And therefore, that hodgepodge has created so many things in our minds where we have not been able to decide which way to follow. The Prophet said, "Kullu mawludin yuladu ala fitratil Islam." Every child is born on the primordial nature of Islam. Fitra. Every young one, whether he is a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or whatever, a human child comes on this earth, comes with the fitra of Islam. فَأَبَوَاهُ يُهَوِّدَانِهِمْ وَيُنَمَجِّسَانِهِمْ وَيُنَصِّرَانِهِمْ. The parents create the atmosphere of their religion, Christianity, Majus, or Nasrani. The fitra is fitra of Islam. Therefore, only that civilization is acceptable to us, which is exactly compatible with the Islamic teaching. The rest all has got to be redundant. If we have accepted it, we have got to discard it. Unfortunately, our exposure has been such that when we sit here, we would like to ape and copy that which is not Islamic. And now I'm starting with the root. In my existence, the first thing is the family, from where the whole thing begins, right? Begins, family. And what I have observed is that we have lost Islamic values in our family system. And we have adopted certain Western values which is going to prove tragic, if not now, within some time. Let me give an example. Here the wife earns as well as the husband. It is two-income family. Sometimes it is out of necessity, and sometimes it is out of fashion. Whatever be the case, a household has got to run with two earners. No. The house has been purchased. The wife contributes to mortgage payment, and also the husband. And it is the house in joint family. No account is kept because husband and wife. Suddenly there is a problem. And there is a dissolution of marriage and there is a divorce. To whom does that house belong? Qiyamah. You go into the friend's house, you see a towel here is written his, and a towel here hers. There is a pair of chappal his, and a pair of chappal hers, of course. And there is a cupboard his, and there is a cupboard hers. And there is a car there, his, and there is a car there, hers. And they sit in the morning to talk that you will buy the bananas and I'll buy the lemons. Yes, yes. You will pay for the gas and I will pay for this, and you will pay for that and I'll pay for this. And the whole concept is his and hers, that means mine and yours. Gradually, the concept of ours in the family is now being wiped out. And based on this, his and hers, there are problems on the table here, before me and maybe before our Mullah Sahib and before many elders, based on this and nothing else, as to who is going to run the house and how. And that concept of having one household where husband and wife work together, with the result that the husbands have now started even retaliating to say that ito kamai che ne. Even if the wife is multi-millionaire, the maintenance of the family according to Islam is wajib upon the husband and not the wife. So much so that even her kafan must be paid by the husband, even if she is a multi-millionaire. Now this argument has started coming in because the husband says that the wife is earning, but we forget one thing, that wife is dependent upon husband. Husband has got to look after her. Not only that, but she has the right of proprietorship. That means that which she has earned belongs to her. If she has inherited from her father and mother, it belongs to her. It doesn't belong to you because you are the husband. In one marriage I said, I don't know when I said, there was an ugly man who married a beautiful wife. Lucky. But they were happy. One day they both sat together and the wife said to husband that I am definite that we are both going to Jannat. Both. And the husband said, you can't be so sure about it. He said, no, I am sure. We are both going to Jannat without hisab. He said, why? He said, because when I look at you, I do sabr. And Allah in Quran says, Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. Huh? And when you look at me, you do shukr. Inna Allah yuhibbu shakirin. When I look at you, I say, whatever. When you look at me, you say, Alhamdulillah. The idea is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that treat your wives the way you treat a flower. إنها ريحانة ليست بقهرمانة. She is a flower. If you understand that, most of the problems that we have today is this. And the wives, because they look at the television and because they read and they believe that everything is now going to be two ways, I go my way and you go your way, the wives have got to take the seerah of Fatima, Zahra and Zainab alayha salam, not the seerah of those actresses. Now if our community is not prepared to change this, and if there is going to be the seerah of the actresses and those who appear on the television, I can see within no time, whether I am here or I am not here, I can see within no time that there is going to be a disruption everywhere. And when the family collapses, the community collapses. The community today that we have, alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alamin, may Allah keep it safe, hale and healthy. The health that we see, the children, mashallah, we see, and the way we react and work with each other and talk to each other is because the foundation in the family system is, alhamdulillah, still sound. That changes, my friends, you will have nothing but corrupt society. It was said that by putting hijab, Islam put women behind the prisons. What has happened is that certain Muslim societies, mark my words, I am talking after having studied the whole thing sociologically, that in certain societies, the people, Muslims they call themselves, deprived the women from their basic rights. They did it. Islam did not do it. Islam never said not to educate your girls. Never. Educate them. teach them. But they deprived. They kept their own ladies totally unlettered. And they thought they were only there to be brought up by the mothers, ultimately get married and finished. So they created one generation of, let us say, illiterate girls and ladies. Islam never said that. If Islam had said this, then look at what I am telling you from Tarazul Muzahab, Fi Hayati Zainab, a book which is there, in which it is written that when Imam Ali alayhi salam was in Kufa in those days, in Kufa, in the days of his Khilafah, one day Imam Hussain alayhi salam entered the house for some work, and he saw that the rooftop was full with some neighborhood women. It was summer, so he thought that he might as well get out of the house because there are ladies there up. He heard his sister Janab Zainab talking to the ladies. And what she was saying? She was saying, "Oh my sisters, let me today explain you the meaning of Sami Allahu liman hamida." As to why we say in namaz, Sami Allahu liman hamida. What is the meaning of Allah heard? And what is the meaning of heard him who praised him? As to what is this hamd? And that is the time when Zainab alayhi salam is talking to the ladies, unlettered, uneducated. In one of the wafats of Fatima Zahra, I produced before you the whole khutbah. And that khutbah is still here, there. Sheikh Nasir Makarim has also translated it. No one can translate unless he is a master of Arabic and also master of Islamic theology. Otherwise you cannot translate only by knowing the language. It has got to be with ilm of lughat and ilm of that particular science that Nabi Fatima Zahra has said. Unlettered. Islam never stopped it. We did it. Because we did it today, we have this. But what the West has done, and I'm saying this from the mimbar, that was the extreme of a society, not Islam. They pulled the women under the name of emancipation, under the name of freedom, and brought them to the society to become nothing but plaything for the men to play about. From one extreme to another. We like this because they came out of hijab, because they came out to meet everyone, and they became what they call themselves sex chattels for the man today to enjoy. From this extreme to that extreme, Islam brought a way in between to say that there will be a useful member of society. While there is hijab, there is education, there is enlightenment. The child born and brought up in the laps of the mother can be a useful member of Islamic society. And that is the reason why I have got a message for my young people. The time is running short. When we were in East Africa, we used to pester our parents, we want to go for further studies. The parents had no money, they used to seek loans. And we would come here and educate ourselves in London, correct? By the time I left the Federation of Africa in 1979, as the retiring president, I had 170 boys on list who had been educated overseas. Today we are here. And it is said the education is free. And what percentage of our boys are going for university education? Very soon, we will have a community of illiterate clowns. Those who might have learnt up to standard 12, left the school or something nearby, college or something, left the school. When they present themselves in a society which is so educated and enlightened, they will not be able even to conduct a small talk, leave aside having professional talk. They will not be able to fit in any society. I am talking this because the community needs this sort of guidance, and I am giving this guidance as my hujjah, because as I said last night, you might not hear me again. I am telling you this is a hujjah. If the community does not awaken to the need now of both boys and girls to be educated, there's going to be a problem. And educated is not only money. Huh? Don't think that because you will be educated, you will be moneyed man. I have told you quite often that the ratio of wisdom with money is sometimes inverse. It goes this way. You find Angutha Chap people multimillionaire. You find highly qualified people looking for jobs. It can happen. That is not the question. The question is very simple. Education for the sake of broadening the mind, deepening the vision and sight, becoming a useful member, refined and enlightened member of human society. That is education, not education for the sake of earning money. When you sit with him in a society and you talk to him, you know you are talking to a person who is refined and enlightened. And the Shia Isnashi community has got to be a refined and enlightened community, not the one which feasts on dirt, rumor mongering, scandal mongering. A community which feasts on, scorns the scandals, rumors, only waiting for something to come out to read and then spread it, that community is a sick community, my friends. And such persons are sick, ill. 3 days ago, one of my brothers came and told me, and that night I could not sleep, that do you know that in Bosnia, Muslim young infants are cut, chopped and sold for meatballs? And it was shown. I'm talking of Bosnia. I'm talking of Iraq. I'm talking of Iran. What about my own community? So we have no time for bickering. We have no time for quarrels. When a leader sees that there is no place for him in a community because either he is 10 years behind or he is 10 years in advance, that leader has got to leave and say, Salamun alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That Allah be with you and peace be with you, because that leader does not fit. That leader is not a prophet. He is not imam. He is a human being. But his vision might be working faster than the vision of others. I am telling you, my friends, that the time will come when we become a community of clowns if we don't get our young boys and girls educated, and the money that we have in our pockets can best be spent for that and for that. And when you have an educated boy, an educated girl, then they get married. You can see the type of family. You can talk to them at that wavelength. Then he will not tell you, "Yeah, busy na paisa aap to nahi." What is this nonsense? We thought we'll never hear these stories in London, but we hear. The family. The family. And that is the main thing. Today, the problem is here, in the family. Nearly 120 letters are there in my file on family. 100. Some of them we will solve, some of them I can't solve. Why I can't solve? Because the things involved are this. And it is for this reason that I found that there is a need for an enlightenment. And now what sort of enlightenment? Only geography and algebra? Only science and physics? No. There is a need for an Islamic orientation to go together. Sheikh Murtaza Mutahhari rahmatullah alayh, he is the first martyr after the revolution of Islam. He said, we should teach every vocation and every faculty to our children together with higher Islamic studies. We teach sociology, we teach also Islamic concept. We teach science, we teach Islamic contribution. We teach mathematics, we teach Islamic contribution. Make the man proud of the legacy that he has had from his forefathers as a Muslim. And also teach him how to live in this society as a Muslim without any apologetic attitude. So, the parting word for my girls, my ladies there, that if you are asked to wear the hijab, When Agha Gulpayagani came to Taqleed, Rijasa, some people came and said, Mullah Sahib, can we do his Taqleed? He says that hijab is wajib. I said, who says hijab is not wajib? Ayatullah, who said it for 22 years, last you never objected. The problem with us is, Mullah Sahib, and I say this because you are the eldest, and the reference will come to you also. The problem is that we do not know how to read the Risala. And we interpret it according to the way we like. I was in Karachi. Someone came and said, Mullah Sahib, can a Muslim give blood for transfusion to a Muslim? I said, yes, you can give one to non-Muslim. Even if his life depends upon that. Huh? He said, but the Prophet has said, don't give. I said, MashaAllah, you have become so proficient with hadith. He said, yeah, the Prophet. He brought to me one book in English in which it was written, the blood of a Muslim is haram for a Muslim. The blood of a Muslim is haram for a Muslim means murdering, not transfusion, my friend. The blood of a Muslim is haram for a Muslim means qatl, not transfusion. So when one reads, one has got to understand. In one of the Risala is written, the Prophet said it is makruh to cut the bread with knife. Oh my God, now when I go to the bakery, I will ask for the sliced bread. But if I don't get a sliced one, if I at home, then what shall I do? I shall cut it like this. Because Agha Gulpayagani, can you do taqleed of an alim who says you can't cut a bread with the knife? Allahu Akbar. Now they don't know one thing, that the actual word the Prophet used was khubz. Roti, chapati. Huh? When you have a roti or a chapati, then it is makruh to cut it with the knife. What you do is, you do what the way the Prophet did it. Take a piece and cut with your hand. Chapati, I don't know if anyone is using knife for cutting chapati, do you? And it is makruh to use anything of steel or iron. Cut it the way the Prophet cut, with his own hand, and he ate. That is the meaning. Now that bread has been used metaphorically. In English, there is no other word for khubz except bread or loaf. Huh? A loaf or a bread. And that bread has been translated. Even the Christians on Sunday says, oh Allah, give us our daily bread. Does it mean the bread from the bakery? When the Christians say in the church, oh Lord, provide us with our daily bread, what do they mean? Bread means rizq. Provision, not bread only, everything. So there is a metaphorical use and a metaphorical sense of every word. The word bread in this hadith meant the khubz and not this bread, because these breads were not there in the time of the Prophet. There was no baker, the type that we have, Mr. Ahmad. So if we understand this, you see, then we will understand. Now when we can't understand the language of Sharia, it becomes all the more difficult to understand the meaning of Sharia. And that is the reason why people are being gradually misled. And the people then say, Ya Allah, aa to mujtahid bahut kharo hai. Hijab. My sisters, younger ones, what are you required to do? Cover your hair fully. Hair up to here, that's all. Have a loose garment over your body so that no one can see the shape of the body. For you, I say, Allah has addressed even the wives of the Prophet like this. Look at Surah Ahzab. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ. And do not come out with that makeup, which makeup is of Jahiliyyah and not of Islam, of Kufr. Why? Because there are people and people. People who have sickness in their mind, when they look at you, they will look with a sick glance. Avoid that sick glance. Don't give them a chance to look at you with an unhealthy glance. To look at you, if at all it is necessary, as a sister, as somebody's mother, as somebody's wife. And that respect you will not find anywhere but in Islam. Hijab. At the same time, you can get yourself educated. You can just get yourself enlightened. At the same time, you can go and even work if it is necessary, but with your hijab, not to remove your hijab. This is the mark of respect, and this is the beginning of the family life. If I were to discuss what is happening when hijab is out, Allahu Akbar, what happens to the family lives, how gradually shaitan creeps in, how many houses have been disrupted simply because hijab was removed. If I were to discuss that, Mimbar would not allow me. But I can tell you, my friends, that we have got to save our women folk from falling trapped into the Western civilization. That freedom is not freedom. It is enslaving them to the base desires of man. Understand, my friend, it's a message which might not be repeated again. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll go further. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.